Paul from Derivan, and I just want to introduce you to the wonderful world of oil colours. So the Derivan range of colours, there's 24 colours and they're all light fast. So if you've ever wondered, what do I need, what do I do, I just want to talk a little bit about the other things you need once you've acquired your paints. So if you're looking to start with a minimal range, the best thing to do is grab yourself 2 reds, 2 yellows, 2 blues. So that's a cool and a warm red, a cool and a warm yellow, and a cool and a warm blue. You will also need a lot of white, so grab yourself a white, and then you can add whatever you like. So I've set out a palette here. There's 2 reds, 2 yellows, 2 blues, and what I generally use is then the addition of a magenta, orange, 2 greens, a purple. Now, if you want to add earth colours, by all means go and grab them. So yellow ochre and burnt umber are a good stock standard. But have a look at the full range. They're all light fast, they all intermix. So once we've got our paints all sorted, what else do we need? So generally speaking, when we use oil paint, we use bristle brushes. So bristle brushes as in hog hair. You can use a softer nylon, it's a personal choice. I use hog hair all the time, but it doesn't mean you can't go and use a softer hair. When we wash up with oil paints, remember we're washing up with terps, so you do need to be careful. Keep that away and don't use too much terps in the painting process, just use it to wash your brushes. Now, there's a few confusing issues with palettes. So here I have a timber palette and that is suitable for oil painting. And here I have a plastic palette. Now this isn't really designed for oil paint. Can you see that these wells are deep into the palette? So what that's designed for is watercolour, where we can let the paint dry out on there and re-wet it and move it. So don't use a plastic one for oil painting. The other thing you can do, there's disposable palettes and there's other plates if you want to use those types of things that are single use to throw away at the end of your painting session. So that's our basic on the palettes. Once we've established our palette, we can then decide on what we're going to paint. Now we can use paper, we can use canvas, and we can use wood. So I suppose most people traditionally think of canvas, and that's probably your most straightforward and your most available surface. But you can also use paper. There are specially prepared pads that are ready-made to take oil paint. If you want to prepare your own paper, it's important that you give it a good coat of gesso before you start to paint on it. If you don't, when you paint the paint onto the paper, the oil will leach into the paper and it just won't work. In addition to paper, there's also timber that we can work on. And you can purchase a pre-prepared timber panel. So Derivan has this, it's a wood painting panel. So this is just a piece of timber that's been prepared onto a framework. And these work as a beautiful surface to work on. So look around for those. Then obviously the other one is your canvas. So again, this is a canvas jack. Now canvas jack is a good one because it's got extra reinforcement at the corners so that this keeps this nice and taut like a drum, which is much easier to work on than your cheaper varieties. So it's worth looking out for and worth paying that extra because you will find it much easier to actually apply the paint, particularly with oils. It's very important. So once we've started and we've decided on what we're going to work on and we've got our palette set up, the important thing to remember with oils is that your dark colours dry quicker. So this is really, really important because you must start with the darks because it's a chemical process. So if we have a piece of dark colour here and light colour, so if we got a piece of this black, and then I'm just going to grab a little piece of this white. So if we left those two there in their purest form, now I'll just wipe that on the rag. This black will be dry in about a week. This white will be dry in about a month or even more. So it's very important, because if we come back over that white with a darker colour before it's totally dry, what will happen is it forms a skin on the top and that dark colour will craze. So absolute must, you must start with your darks and work to your lights. You can override this slightly by adding what we call fat over lean. So you can add oil into the painting process as you go along. But a good rule of thumb and a general logical way of working is from your darks through to your lights. The reason why it's a logical way of working is because our surface, we can't show a highlight, because your canvas, your wood or your paper is generally a lighter colour unless you've toned it. So you can't show a highlight, you must show a dark. It's a bit like if we were going to do a drawing, we'd approach it in the same way. Now, the other one important thing, see me wipe my hand there? Nice soft cloth. Use something that's like a t-shirt material, nothing that's going to leave hair or brush or anything into the painting surface. So something nice and clean, something smooth, and something that's going to remove the paint. So look out for the videos on Matisse Derivan's YouTube site, and happy